Hello and welcome to everyone. In today's session, we will look at how to create Google Forms. As we all know, Google Forms can be used in many situations. Mostly teachers use this to conduct graded assignments or to share some interesting materials. Or generally, it can be used in a classroom, in Google Classroom environment to conduct surveys or course evaluations, etc. So let's look at Google Forms today. In order to open Google Forms, you can go to your Google account. You can log into Google account, and then you can see this nine dots on your right hand side of the screen, where you can browse for the recently browsed apps, where you can find Google Forms, or you can type forms.google.com in your browser address bar and then reach Google Forms. Here in Google Forms, have you can start from the scratch and create a blank Google form or use an already created template from the gallery. If you click on the template gallery section where you can browse through many different forms which are available and then choose the one which best suits your needs. But let's just look at how to create a blank Google form, and then we can take it further from there. Just click on the blank one. In this blank Google form, before we start doing anything on this form, we need to find out what kind of um, a Google form we are setting up. You can go into settings. We need to set up the Google form in order to suit our requirement. If we want to collect the email addresses of the respondents, we need to enable certain options in the settings, in general bar, and then if you can click on response receipts. If you want the respondents to get a receipt of their responses, you can select this option, or you can as well have um, you can make this as a choice for the respondent, or you can always send a response to them. And then you can limit the response from the respondent to one, if that is what you intend to do. Or you can also have respondents edit their responses after they submit. This is not ideal for when you're conducting an assessment, but still you have this option which you can use it if you wish. Then you can let the respondent choose to see a summary charts and text responses. Then you can go into presentation section where you can select the progress bar, where they get to know how much portion of the form has been completed at a given point in time. You can also enable shuffle question order, which means that if there are 10 students taking your assessment in the Google Forms, each student will get a different order of the questions that you have provided in the Google Forms. Then once they have submitted their response, they will get a message. If you wish to do so, you can type your message in the confirmation message section here. Thank you for submitting your response, or thank you for taking the assessment, like that. And then go into quizzes section. If you really want your Google form to act as a quiz or an assessment, then this is what you need to enable here. Make this as a quiz. And then if you want the students to get the responses immediately, if you want the students to get the grades immediately once they've submitted the Google form, you can enable this. Or if you want to review their answers and then grade them, then you can select this option. Then if you want the respondents to see the missed question, the correct answers, points for your questions, then you can enable these options. And once you're sure that you have made the right settings, then you can go ahead and click save button here. And then you can go ahead and start updating your form. First comes your title, uh, which you can update it here. Let's say title. Then you can provide a short description of what kind of form that you're trying to create, whether it's an assessment or it's a survey, and provide a brief description about the same. And then you can click on this untitled form on your left hand side, and then it will immediately change to title, whatever title you have given. Next to that is the Google Drive folder in which you can save your Google form. You can even star it so that you can search for it easily in the Google Drive when you get there. You can select a theme from this section, and then you can preview this Google form before it's being uh, published. You can click on this I button where you get to see how the form is looking at any given point in time. You can keep this open or you can click it whenever you need it. Then you will only hit send when you are sure everything has been updated properly in your Google form. And then you get to see this grid box here, uh, and you get to see this multiple grid boxes one after the other. There is a default grid which is available for you to start with here, where you can type your first question, let's say question 1, and then next to it there is an image button which you can import an image. Your question can also be in the form of an image where you would have, let's say, take for example, you have a complicated mathematical question wherein you have degrees and roots mentioned in your question. You can take a photo of it and then upload the same in this section so that the question appears as an image to the respondents. Next to that, you have several options. You can choose any of it for your question, like short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes. We'll go through all of them one by one. So this is a brief introduction on the Google Forms. Let's look at all these options in next session, where you get to create multiple grid boxes and get to delete them. So we'll experiment all of that in the next session. Thank you for your time. Let's connect in the next session. Thank you.